Are you having fun, Nico?
Yeah, I'm trying to post this.
Okay. Because we're on live now. And we have been.
I'm trying to share.
Okay.
This.
Okay. I was just trying to see how long I could go with you goofing around on your phone. Welcome to the AfterBuzz. So today...
I'm just going to be that bad family member that never looks up at the dinner table and just is always...
that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Okay, so today what we're going to do, and this is kind of a spin-off of what we were doing on the show earlier when we were doing a bunch of different trivia questions in regards to sports. We had done some boxing earlier in the week. Today was mostly baseball-oriented.
I did. I figured it out too late in the game.
Would you consider yourself a baseball fan?
No, but hear me out. I went to the Diablos games, the former Chialos baseball team, all the time. And I love baseball traditions. I like hot dogs. I like popcorn. I like beer. Don't they do something at the seventh inning stretch? The seventh inning stretch.
Don't they do something during the seventh inning stretch? Like they stretch or something? What's the song?
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out to the crowd. Yes, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Yeah, like peanuts and Cracker Jacks. That's baseball stuff. That's cool. But sitting there for 5 hours? Oh my god.
Well, they've shortened the game. It's gotten a little more manageable, and especially minor league games because they've got the pitch clock now. It's kind of like the shot clock in baseball.
Oh, the pitcher can't like hold on to the ball.
Well, and another problem that they would have is they would sit there and the batter would step out of the batter's box a million times, and it just they wanted to nip all that stuff in the bud. So they've kind of done that. So I'm going to be quizzing Nico on some. I don't want to necessarily say simple baseball trivia. I just want to kind of test Nico's knowledge. At one point, I'm going to ask him. I'm just going to start naming the cities and see if he can name the team that's in that city.
That's pretty tough.
But first and foremost, earlier on the show, we were talking about animal attacks. Did you hear any part of that
in
the show?
Yes, I did. So Buzz kept saying, what did he kept saying something very funny. Oh, the geese were going afoul. And he kept saying it. It was hilarious, but nobody was laughing.
Okay, so and at one point, too, in the YouTube chat, if you have a baseball question for Nico, I'll give you the signal. Don't type it in now because I'm not going to be able to sift through it all. But I'll make an announcement, and then you guys can go ahead and type in some questions. So have your questions ready to go, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But first I wanted to talk about these animal attacks because there was a couple – I wouldn't say I was attacked by an animal, but there was a couple of years ago I was at a petting zoo, and there were some kids there, and we were feeding the goats. You know, and you get the little food you kind of put in your hand, and then you go to feed the animal. Mm-hmm. And like one of the kids was freaking out. Where he's like, I don't want him to bite me. I don't want him to bite me. And first and foremost, their teeth are like completely flat. Like there's no there's no sharpness to the teeth.
Do goats bite?
They do. And here's how I know. Because as I'm holding it, I'm like, it's okay. They're not going to bite. The second I said that fucker clamped down on my index finger, and I couldn't react because I had just told this child that goats don't bite. And sure enough, I'm sitting there and this thing's munching down on my finger, and it left a nice little bruise right there because he got a little overzealous.
Now it has a taste for human.
Yes. So the goat apocalypse is coming up shortly. And another one that I had was
the curse of the goat,
which baseball team?
So that now I know is the Cubs.
There you go, the Chicago Cubs.
But you will never win again.
Well, they won it 2 years ago.
But you're getting married, so technically that means you'll never win again.
Okay. So another story, I had this from a few years ago when I was back in Portland, and one day I was at my mom's house, and like she came, and she couldn't. Her knees were bad at this point, so she wasn't really running, but she kind of hurried into the house, and I'm like, Mom, what the hell's wrong? And she's like, a squirrel just ran at me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no way. Like, I'm thinking like maybe the squirrel was like running across the driveway, maybe the squirrel was running across the yard, whatever. No. Her story was she was going to go get the mail. She got to the end of the driveway, and the mailbox is across the street. And she got to the end of the driveway, and the squirrel, like ran up and like stood up like this, like, what's up? And then when she tried to move forward to the mailbox, it started to run at her. Mind you, she needed to have a complete knee replacement at this point. Like
this is your mom?
She could not run. So she's like hobbling through the driveway as this squirrel is running at her.
Maybe he was just protecting his nuts.
So fast forward about a week, and this is after me giving her a ton of shit. Be like, Mom, really? No, it's not like Christmas vacation. Like, there's not a rabid squirrel running around the house. So about a week later, I'm in the driveway, and I think I was going to go get the mail. And sure as shit, there's a squirrel right there in the driveway. And I see him, and he stands up. I'm like, oh, this is it. This is the guy. Like, this is how it's going down. And I went to step forward to the mailbox, and he started to run at me. And he did not back down until I ran at it and, like, scared it away.
Oh, shit.
Angry fucking squirrels in Oregon. And they're big, too. I forgot how big they were, because in Florida, tiny squirrels are like this, like minus the tail. They're like that big. In Oregon, they're that. They're like cats.
That's the difference between a gerbil and a guinea pig.
Yeah, they're huge. They're effing huge. Okay, Nico, those are my animal stories. Do you have any animal attack stories?
Yeah. Also, I think the squirrel's pretty funny. I have a squirrel one too. Squirrels are gangster. Although when you described it like you were about to die to that squirrel, like this is it.
No, it's how it's going to go down, like the fight.
Yeah.
Like, we were going to fight. Like, let's
I can
do
only
this.
imagine you actually dying, and then everybody would have to.
I'd be the guy that died by
squirrel. Death by squirrel.
Death by squirrel. That's a band name right there.
I went to school in Houston for 2 years. I went to Rice University, and Rice has a beautiful campus. It's full of trees, and in my orientation group, there was an exchange student from China, or a foreign student from China, and his name was Michael. And he didn't really speak at all during the orientation, but
like he didn't speak English, or he just didn't speak.
He spoke a little English, but then he also was just very quiet for most of the orientation. And we were walking through the campus, and squirrels are everywhere, but they tell you don't touch the squirrels.
Yeah.
And a squirrel gets up on a trash can, and Michael, you know, his like little face, his little Chinese face was glowing, and he smiled so much. He tried to pet the squirrel, and the squirrel just bit the shit out of his fingers. And he was like, no.
Did it actually draw blood? Like, did it bite the hell out of it?
He actually, like, took most of the tip of his finger off. And I was like, welcome to America.
That is why you don't feed squirrels.
That is why you don't feed squirrels.
All right. It's time for trivia. All right. Okay. So you enjoy baseball. You know what my mission this whole summer is, right? It's to get a foul ball or a home run ball.
Oh, to actually get a ball?
Yes. And it's got to be like on the fly or like a one hopper. It can't be anything like it can't be like, oh, it's over there, and then you run over and pick it up.
Okay,
like,
you're saying it has to be air, like the ones that you would see on TV.
Yeah, you either got to catch it in the air or maybe like a ricochet or a bounce or something.
Except whenever I see it on TV, it's always like somebody who just ruined the game by catching the ball.
That can't happen. The people who lean over the wall.
Would you do it in that case?
Even? No. You got to know that you can't reach into the field to play.
Okay.
And I had one come close. Did you hear about the one I had come close? It literally went right over my goddamn head.
Oh, didn't they put a picture of that?
I did a whole blog about it because it truly, and there's video of it. If you go to the Chihuahua's Instagram page, you can see the home run. And I'm the only one sitting out in the Peter Piper Pizza porch. And as I'm standing out there, the ball, like, I went to take a picture, and sure enough, I heard the crack of the bat, and I see the left fielder running towards me. So I looked up, and the ball is coming, like, directly at me. And you can see it in this video that the Chihuahuas put on their Instagram page of me doing this thing. Like, and then it bouncing around me and, you know, all that fun stuff. But anyway, basic baseball trivia here for Nico. If you would like
basic baseball bitches.
I would say basic for the most part. And then what I would say here is if you guys do have a question, you go ahead and put it in the chat now. Make sure you put the answer
what are
with
people
the
saying
question.
So
hey, hold on. There might be questions already. There's not, but there could be. Make sure you put the question and the answer right there just so, you know, we're not relying on my knowledge or me having to look it up. So you guys can go ahead and put those in the chat now. So we're going to start with Nico. There are two leagues that make up Major League Baseball. What are those two leagues?
The AFL and the NFL. Oh, no, never mind. The Pac-10. No, baseball.
There's two leagues
there's two
that make up Major League Baseball.
And who wins the Cy Young Award?
Jesus Christ, you're distracted. Like, just answer the question. Either you do it, you know, or you don't know it.
I honestly don't know the two different baseball leagues.
The two I wish I had my buzzer sound effect ready to go. The two leagues, the American League and
the National League.
The National League is correct. That's a big whiff on that one there, Nico.
Because that's the same as like football too, right? Don't they have?
Well, it was the AFL and it was originally the AFL and the NFL. And then they started the Super Bowl, and eventually it merged into the NFL. And rather than being two separate leagues, they made them conferences. So you have the AFC and the NFC. But then you have in
some facts for you guys.
That's exactly
and
what
for
it is.
me.
So now you know that kind of similar. The NBA is different. NBA is just East versus West. So that's nothing you really need to worry about. But I finally have pulled this up now, and it's not going to flow. There you go.
Awesome.
Like that.
Because shame needs to be made in audio.
All right, here we go. Next question. You're all for one. New York has 2 Major League ball clubs. Who are they?
The New York Yankees.
That's one.
They're the biggest. But the Mets are pretty good too.
So you go with Yankees and Mets?
Yankees and Mets.
That is correct. I'd play the sound effects, but there's a delay on my laptop.
I don't get a good sound effect, so when I do well, nobody wants to hear it.
All right,
but when I do badly, the shame needs to be made loud.
There we go. That's the one time you'll get it, okay? And the Mets are actually doing pretty darn good this year. The Mets currently sitting at 15-6. They've got one of the top records in the National League, one of the top records in baseball.
But in baseball, don't they play more games than any other sport?
It's a 162-game season, so it's a lot.
That's insane.
All right, next question. Here we go. What 2 players were in a home run race in 1998?
That would be Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron.
That would be on that one. Neither of those guys. Hank Aaron, long since retired. Barry Bonds was not until the 2000s when he broke the record.
Okay, well, I got
Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
Mark McGwire, that's what I meant.
And Sammy Sosa.
Sammy Sosa.
By the way, have you seen a picture of Sammy Sosa?
I knew
recently?
it was one black guy and one white guy going at it.
But have you seen what Sammy Sosa looks like now? All right. Well, we're gonna pull that up for Nico here real quick because
is it really good, ridiculously good, or ridiculously
it's
bad?
It's ridiculously bad.
Yeah,
see, look, when you Google Sammy,
when
you Google Sammy Sosa, and the first thing that the autofills to is Sammy Sosa white. Like, what's the disease that?
Vitiligo.
Is that what it is?
I have the vitiligo.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Told you. If you don't know what Sammy Sosa looks like now, just look it up because his skin it's bleaching.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Right? Like that looks like us.
He looks like Ricky Ricardo on black and white screen. Like a fat Ricky Ricardo.
Lucy? Yeah, he kind of does. All right, let me go to the YouTube chat here for some questions. Let me see here. Okay, if you guys don't put the answers in, you can't tell. All right, here we go. I'll help Green Eyed Ghost here because he put it down below. Who is the only athlete to hit a home run and score a touchdown in the same week?
Oh.
Oh.
I think you break my brain.
Did I break your brain?
You broke my brain.
We broke Nico with that question. Good job, Ghost.
Who was that? That's somebody that was good at both.
That is the kind of analysis you only get here on the AfterBuzz, folks. Is that the question, who is the only athlete to hit a home run and score a touchdown the same week? Nico's analysis, he was good at both.
Well, Michael Jordan was playing he's a little like when I knew that did basketball. And I don't know. I'm completely Michael Vick.
No, it was not. Now, most people, I think, would probably think Bo Jackson.
Oh.
Because he played both sports, but he didn't play both sports at the same time.
Ah.
He would finish the baseball season and then play football.
Professionally?
And he was still insane. Yeah, he played for the Raiders. I'm telling you right now, Bo Jackson, probably the greatest athlete of all time. And had he not had the hip injury, he'd be in the Hall of Fame in 2 different sports. He was that freakishly good.
Is he the guy that everybody on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia tried to drink?
No, that was Wade Boggs.
Oh, Wade Boggs.
I believe that was Wade Boggs. And when Charlie Day keeps saying, Wade Boggs, rest in peace. And like, he's not dead. No, the answer is Deion Sanders.
Oh.
Neon Deion.
That's right.
Remember, he played for a bunch of different NFL teams. He played for the Falcons. He played for the Cowboys. He played for the Niners.
Who did he play for in baseball?
The Braves. The Atlanta Braves.
Good job, Green Eyed Ghost.
And like David's asking, did someone play football and baseball on the same day? I believe Deion Sanders did. And Tim McCarver had a major problem with it. Like, he was bashing Deion Sanders for playing a football game during the day and then going to go play a baseball game at night because it was the playoffs. And he was calling him selfish. Like, football can wait. You should focus on baseball right now. And it caused this big feud between Deion Sanders and Tim McCarver. And it got to the point where I think Deion Sanders, the Braves had won. I think they'd won the pennant to make the World Series or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. But then he came over and he actually full on dumped like Gatorade on Tim McCarver as kind of like a, hey, F you kind of a moment to him. Let me see here. Okay, I don't have any more, so here we go. Going back to my questions. In 1995, Cal Ripken Jr. broke whose record for most consecutive games played?
Who?
Dude, did we break you again?
No.
I think you're still fried from the last question.
No. Who was it? Mark? Who did you say?
Okay, in 1995, Cal Ripken Jr.
Cal Ripken Jr. Okay.
broke whose record for most consecutive games played?
Mickey Now.
That is not correct. This baseball player has a horrible, horrific disease named after him.
Oh, Lou Gehrig.
Yes, Lou Gehrig, also known as ALS.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Lou Gehrig's record that Cal Ripken Jr. broke. All right, here we go. This is the final one that I have here until we get to the team names. What team did the Montreal Expos become in 2005?
Montreal. You had a baseball team.
Not a fan of Montreal?
Did they move down just to Maine, maybe? It became the Maine. Does Maine have a baseball team? Okay. Montreal made it to. They became Boston Red Sox, probably.
No, not even close. Boston's been around for ages. They have one of the oldest ballparks. I think it's the oldest ballpark. No.
It's called Fenway.
The Washington Nationals. Washington Nationals. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to give you a city name. We're going to go rapid fire here. I want to see if you can name me the ball club. I'm just going to mark down the ones you get wrong. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Boston.
Red Sox.
Toronto.
Tornadoes.
American League New York team.
Mets.
Tampa Bay.
Buccaneers.
Baltimore.
Ravens.
Oh my God. You're doing way worse than I thought you would. Cleveland.
Cleveland. Cavaliers.
Okay, I'm not even going to mark down which ones he gets wrong at this point. Okay, Detroit.
I don't know the baseball ones.
Arrgh.
Arrgh. What is this? The werewolves?
Rawr.
The vampires.
No, that'd be blah. That's a vampire. Blah, blah, blah. That's a vampire. Arrgh. The Detroit. Arrgh.
What is that? The Bears?
No!
The Pirates?
No!
What is
Because the pirate goes, arrgh. That's arrgh. That's a pirate.
The Ghosts?
Ooh, that'd be the ghost.
I don't know, the rapist.
Watch out. If you ever see somebody do that, they're about to get raped.
The Detroit rapist.
No, well, I mean, okay. Okay, Minnesota. Okay, I'm going back. Originally, I thought Nico would get most of these, so I was just going to go back at the end.
I told him I know nothing. So.
Okay, so you got the Red Sox correct.
Yeah.
Toronto, which you said I believe was the Tornadoes.
It sounds like
it's the Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays. Who could have forgotten the Blue Jays?
The American League New York team.
That's New York Yankees, by the way.
That is the Yankees, not the Mets. You said Mets.
It was a 50-50.
Tampa Bay is not the Buccaneers. It's the Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, the Rays.
Baltimore is not the Ravens. You jumped really quickly to the NFL.
That's the only teams I know.
Baltimore is the Orioles. That's Cal Ripken's team.
Okay,
the Baltimore
I
Orioles.
The Orioles.
Cleveland, the Cavaliers.
That's their basketball.
That's basketball. Indians.
The Indians.
Detroit. What's this? Tigers.
That's the worst.
Now you all know what my Tigers look like. Okay, next one. Here we
It's
go.
like albino tiger that needs to be put out because it was like due to incest.
Minnesota. I can beat you to the punch. It's not the Vikings.
Thank you. I wasn't even thinking. I was trying to actually do it. I don't remember. Or no.
Okay, well, there's 2 cities right there.
Minnesota.
Minneapolis. It's the Twin Cities.
Oh yeah. Go. Oh, are you trying to help me answer this? I thought you were just gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The Twins.
Oh, the Twins.
That's the Minnesota Twins. That's my team. That hurts, Nico. That hurts.
Why is that? You're from Oregon. Why would you be a Minnesota fan?
When I was growing up, the AAA ball club for the Twins was the Portland Beavers.
Oh, the Beavers.
The Beavers. Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's a big talk of bringing a Major League Baseball team to Portland at this point.
Big talk.
The American League Chicago team.
White Sox.
White Sox is correct. Kansas City.
Kansas City Royals.
Kansas City Royals is correct. Anaheim. I'm saying it's Los Angeles of Anaheim, but I'm saying Anaheim.
It's not the Ducks.
No, it's not the Ducks. That's hockey.
Anaheim.
I like how you know almost every sport other than baseball.
Anaheim. Well, I don't even think the Ducks still are in Anaheim. Anaheim. It's like a tree, right?
No. You're thinking Stanford, the Cardinal.
It's not like a palm tree?
No. Angels.
Oh,
Angels in the outfield. Houston.
The Houston Rockets.
You knew this on the show earlier today.
I know. The Astros.
There you go. The Houston Astros. Seattle.
The Mariners.
Yes, that's correct. Texas.
Texans.
No. And I like the confidence. I'm loving the confidence. But no, that is incorrect.
Wait, just Texas?
Yeah. They play in Arlington.
Oh.
But it's the Texas
Rangers.
I was going to say, think Walker. Good job. That's Texas Rangers.
Because George W. Bush used to own them.
He did, actually. Okay, the National League New York team.
The Mets.
There you go. Philadelphia.
The Philadelphia. Is it the Green Man?
No, but that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Who is Philadelphia?
They've been featured in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia multiple times. They've had players Ryan Howard, Chase Utley.
Yeah, I know.
Mac is obsessed with Chase Utley. He just wants to have a catch. He writes him on love. The Phillies is correct. Good job. Atlanta.
Braves.
Atlanta Braves is correct. Washington. Literally said this about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, because they came from Toronto.
They did not. And they did not come from Toronto.
Oh, no.
What's the other Canadian city?
Vancouver?
No.
The Canucks.
No. That's hockey again.
What
was the other Canadian city that you were mocking and making fun of?
Montreal.
Montreal. There you go. Okay, so and what did they become? The Washington.
The Washington. Oh man, my short-term memory is fried.
You've been hanging out with Buzz too long. There's got to be something in that house that kills your short-term memory.
No, I don't remember.
The Nationals.
Oh, the
Washington Nationals.
That's right.
Okay, Miami.
Not the Tropics?
No, it's not the Miami Tropics. This is a full pro team, not a semi-pro team.
The Miami. Okay, not Heat, not Thunder?
No.
Miami. Any hints, guys?
It's a fish.
Oh, the Miami tuna?
No. No.
The Miami.
The grouper.
The Miami grouper? Miami.
Big game fish.
Marlins.
Miami Marlins is correct.
Oh!
Hey, folks, we knew he'd eventually get there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Milwaukee.
What?
Milwaukee. Which is Algonquin for the good land.
You just said it so white, but like he was trying to be PC about it.
What, Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Don't you know what that's from?
Anyways.
Wayne's Flippin' World with Alice Cooper. They're in one. He goes, yes, Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
That's right.
Alice Cooper, Nico.
That's right.
All right, Milwaukee. What's their baseball team?
Celtics is not right.
It's not even fucking close.
Milwaukee. Oh, is it an animal?
No.
Milwaukee Master. No. I'm
Brewers. The Milwaukee
I wouldn't have
Brewers.
gotten that one. No.
St. Louis.
St. Louis Seahawks?
No, that's the Seattle Seahawks, and that's NFL again.
No.
Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
Chicago. The NL team.
The Cubs.
The Cubs is correct. Pittsburgh.
Pirates?
Pirates is correct. Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati Arabs.
No. No.
The Cincinnati Sidewinders?
It's a color.
The Maroons?
You're in the right spectrum.
The Ceruleans?
No, the Cincinnati Reds. The Cincinnati Reds. Arizona.
Cardinals? No.
No, that's the football team.
Arizona. Cacti?
No. But the Arizona Spring Training League is the Cactus League.
Well,
See?
well,
You're not a complete idiot.
I'm floundering here.
Yes. Diamondbacks. The Arizona
the
Diamondbacks. Having a good season so far, too. 16-6 on the year. Colorado.
The Colorado Mountains?
No. But you're on the right path. You're on the right path.
Frosties. The Colorado.
No. What are the name of the mountains?
Rockies.
The Colorado Rockies is correct. Los Angeles.
Dodgers.
Dodgers is correct.
I just saw Dodger Stadium. It was bad.
Did you actually go to Chavez Ravine?
No.
Or just drive by it?
Just drove by it.
San Francisco Giants. Oh, crap. San Francisco. And the final one, you should know this one because it is the major league team for our local El Paso Choco.
San Diego Padres.
San Diego Padres.
Boom.
Is correct. All right, you failed miserably at that.
But you know what? If this was a baseball season, I would be doing all right out of all the questions. I feel like I had a decent.
You would be borderline wild card. Okie dokie. I like how people are putting the answers in the chat. Okay, so if you guys have any random baseball trivia question, go ahead and fire it off here. Hey, stop looking.
I want to know what they're saying.
Well, but I don't want you to see an answer if they're going to ask a question. I can't tell if the chat's behind or what the hell's going on here. But anyway, if for any reason if you have another question for Nico, by all means, fire away. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll give you guys like 30, 60 seconds. We're about to wrap up this edition of the AfterBuzz with Nico and baseball trivia. I'm trying to think off the top of my head of just kind of like a random piece of baseball trivia. Like I think it was. Let me double check my stats here. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Who was the player in 1961 that broke Babe Ruth's record for the most home runs in a season?
What year?
1961.
Mickey Mantle?
No, but Mickey Mantle was close. I believe it was a race between Mickey Mantle and this guy. Mickey Mantle ended up with 54 home runs. Do you know Mickey Mantle?
Sosa.
Do you know Mickey Mantle used to play just like hammered?
Really?
Oh yeah, like I pretty much from the stories that you hear, I pretty much believe that like 90% of all of baseball was just drunk back then, like just hammered beyond.
It does sound like that. Baseball is not the type of game that you really have to like work out a lot for, is it?
I mean,
like your physical strength isn't as important. As
Roger Maris, by the way, is the guy who broke Babe Ruth's record. I actually had a pretty funny baseball story from when I was in. Okay, here we go. Here's one quick one. How many outs in one full inning?
3 outs, right? 3 outs. Yeah.
No. Oh. One full inning.
Oh, so that'd be 6 outs.
6 outs is correct. All right, so we'll wrap up this AfterBuzz. I got a story here. And this is when I was playing baseball my senior year, I think. Yeah, I believe so. So anyway, so on a Friday night, my one buddy threw this huge party, like 100-something people in his parents' house, big old blowout party. My underwear ended up on the ceiling. There's a different story behind that. But anyway, so we partied pretty damn hard that Friday night. Saturday morning we had practice. We had a full scrimmage that we were going to do the following morning. And so I get to the ball
Sweating
field,
out tequila.
and this was like one of the first times we ended up calling it like the case of the stupids, where you can't think the next day. Like you're not drunk, but your brain's not functioning.
Don't they call that the yips?
No, that's something different. But for me, it's just you're in a brain fog. Is really what it is. Like you're completely out of it. And I just remember sitting there. The scrimmage is going on, and I wasn't out on the field at first, and I'm just kind of sitting on the bench, just kind of like this, like slouched down, and really not aware of anything that's happening. And I guess in like the second inning,
sounds like a normal day.
I guess in the second inning, the coach came over and he was like, "Coach, right field, next inning," and I was like, "Okay." And then I sat there. And then 3 innings went by, and nobody played right field because it didn't register like get the fuck out there. And so I'm sitting there, and one of my buddies comes up and he's like, "Dude, you're supposed to be in right field." This is like 3 innings later, and I freaked out. So I jumped up and started to run on the field mid-pitch. As the pitcher's literally pitching the ball to home plate, they had to grab me and pull me back down. And like, "Don't go now. They're going to be able to tell you're not out there. Wait till the fucking inning's over." And then I finally ended up running out there, and I wasn't the only one who had, had a different, experience that day, I guess.
You sound terrible at baseball.
Well, that day I was. And it was like pretty much the whole team was really feeling a pretty wicked hangover on that Saturday.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Especially because you're in the sun, like direct.
It's
sun.
Oregon, so it wasn't that bad. No. I mean, it was sunny out, but it wasn't like here in El Paso. But what happened was, practice was over. The coach was pissed off at everybody because we played like crap, and you could tell we were all hungover. So he got us out into the middle of the outfield, and he's just giving us the once over, like, "I know what you guys are doing. You guys want to go out and party, you could do that anytime, but you're fucking up this baseball season, yada." And then he made us run nonstop. I mean, we just ran and ran and ran and ran. Kids are puking everywhere. It was terrible. But yeah, so anyway, so that was my.
Did you go to games with your dad?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
We would sometimes, like when the Portland Beavers were in town, we would go check out Beavers games. Loved looking at beavers when I was a kid.
Yeah, with your dad.
And then one thing that we also would like to do, I'm not a Mariners fan, but Seattle's, just north a few hours. And you could just hop on the train and leave Portland. And then when you get up to Seattle, it drops you off right at the stadium. There's a stop right there. So we would just hop on the train and go watch a baseball game. We got to go to the Kingdome. I checked out games at Safeco Field. It was a ton of fun doing that.
Does Oregon have any professional baseball?
No, but again, they are working on. There's a big organization there. They just dumped a ton of money to where they're bidding like millions and millions and millions of dollars to fund this one stadium. They want to buy up this plot of land to build a stadium. And I guess the talk is the Oakland Athletics, because they're playing in such an old stadium and there's no news yet of that team giving them a new stadium. Yeah. Then they're looking elsewhere, and Portland's like, "Hey, bring it up here. Like, we'll build you a whole new stadium." And they're talking about bringing Oakland.
That's nice when you can attract a team just because the other team's home field is so shitty.
Well, that's kind of, that for the most part, that's kind of how a lot of these teams end up moving, or why they end up moving, is because the city won't give them a new stadium. So what the owner will do is the owner talks to different cities, and if those cities are willing to pony up cash to put the team there, then they'll go ahead and do that. And that's when they ultimately meet.
Let's start our own baseball team. Let's try and sell it somewhere.
Jesus. I don't think we have the financial backing for that.
I know a few people that don't have homes right now.
I know of 2, you and Scott.
We have homes. They're just not warm or welcoming.
Or not where you pay rent. By the way, the dog's at home. There's nobody that has called yet.
Nobody's called.
That the dogs got out.
They do have a new
security measure. Oh, I was going to say, how's the electric fence working?
So far, so good. So far, so good.
Have you tested it?
I haven't tested or seen it, but I have thought.
Can we film you testing it?
No.
Why?
No, because that just makes me more of Buzz's dog than I already am.
So what?
But I do want to just see if I could put the collar on Buzz when he's sleeping, and when he wakes up in the morning and goes to work, it would totally go off.
Well, but he would notice it. Like, that's the problem. We would have to do it so that it's a way that he would. But the thing with it, generally have two huge metal prongs, right? If we could do that, then that would be great. If you could put it on it and lock it on him, like legitimately put a padlock on it so he can't get it off. Like in I've been rewatching some of Workaholics, and there's an episode where the one guy gets promoted, Anders gets promoted above the other two guys, and so they take him out drinking to celebrate. But the whole point is to get him as hammered as possible. And then when he passes out, they put a bike lock on his neck. And obviously, you can't get it off unless you got the key. So if there's a way you could do that to Buzz,
that'd be
put the collar on him, lock the collar on him, and then he's hosed.
Yeah, and then he couldn't leave. Like he would.
Oh, he could leave. He just have to tough it out. I'm pretty sure it's at a certain point either the battery's going to give out or that thing's just going to stop buzzing.
I wonder if he could disarm it even wearing the collar. Like if he knows how to.
I think somebody with relative tech savvy might be able to do that,
but not Buzz.
But not Buzz, not at all.
It's so funny. So, anyways, yeah, that was. I just saw the dogs last night. They got in a fight with Lloyd, Scott's cat, and
Scott's cat still alive?
He's still alive, but he scratched the hell out of Jerry's nose.
Were the dogs in the house?
Yeah, I got in there right as the dogs were. They somehow got into the house. The back door was open. And
those fuckers figured out how to get in on their own. Like they knew how to hit the door and
we're
get that
always
back
having
door
to update the security. I feel like we're prison guards at this point. We're constantly we're keeping these dogs prisoners, and this is like a North Korean work camp.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so Green Eyed Ghost in the chat says it talking about the collar. It would have to be when Buzz takes a heavy dose of Lunesta. So at night.
Oh yeah,
really
that's what
I'm
I
just saying there. It's just at night is that's all you're saying.
I've already discussed this with Buzz while he was on Lunesta, knowing he wouldn't remember our conversation.
Yeah.
And he hasn't.
I wonder if while he's on Lunesta, if you got that 15-minute window, if you could put it on him really quick and somehow get him to go outside that it's going off.
Like a nighttime prank? Although
there's things in the works here.
I have a feeling he's going to get really...
Oh, hell yeah, he would be. He would
I wonder, does it hurt? I mean, it looks like it hurts the dogs, but I feel like
it's a jolt. I mean,
yeah,
I've done it on myself.
Yeah, and I got electrocuted by another taser the other month. So
that's true.
And that was 1,000,000 volts. So I know what it feels like, but...
And you squealed.
Just like the dogs do.
Have you seen him get shocked yet with the collar?
No, not yet. I don't want to. I bet it's too sad. Like I don't even want to look at it.
No, that was one thing.
They're my boys. They're like my best friends.
Yeah, you don't want to see them get hurt.
I spend so much time in the backyard with them.
Just hanging out. You get to have ticks on you, do you?
No.
Because the dogs have fucking ticks.
Buzz just thinks it's like a hobby to pick them up.
It's disgusting. Anyway, we're going to call that for this week's AfterBuzz. We end on TikTok. Thank you, Nico, for coming in.
No problem.
And being a champ when it came to the baseball trivia.
I can't wait to fail and look stupider next time.
You didn't look completely stupid. Just,
relatively, normally stupid.
All right, wave goodbye.